I tested 12 feet and I tested 8 feet. 8 feet looks better.
Romeo and Juliet begins with the words, "Gregory, on my words, will not carry coals." It's two servants talking about how the last thing on earth they will possibly do is carry coals at all. So today, while we put in the fire pit, I want to talk about how weird it is that we relax around coal fires. For hundreds of years, people avoided this work. That all changed because one guy, who was a complete and total bastard named Henry Ford, went on a camping trip. Henry Ford was just a crazy rich guy, somewhere between Donald Trump and Richard Branson. He put his name on hundreds of products. Some of them were terrible, and most of those businesses failed. For some reason, we always give Henry Ford credit for the assembly line, but he stole that idea from the Chicago slaughterhouses, which more than one person has pointed out makes them a disassembly line. Now, my vegetarian girlfriend won't like this very much, but when Henry Ford saw the assembly line at work on his factory floor, he was astonished with how much waste there was. At the time, he was trying to get people to use the less wasteful soybean in their burgers and ice cream. He even had a suit made out of soybean fabric that stank. Every Model T at that time was consuming about 150 straight feet of wood. That all changed in 1919 when Henry Ford went on a camping trip. This camping trip included Harvey Firestone, the tire magnate, Thomas Edison, and a real estate agent named Edward Kingsford.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein, everyone's a rocket, rev it up now.
Ford bought all the land from Kingford to start his own lumber operation, but this drove him crazy because of how much sap, sawdust, and bark would to waste. So they bound all that together in the Charcoal Briquet in a factory designed by Thomas Edison, boasting, "We use every part of the tree but the shade." Now, Ford was an incredible bastard. The newspaper he owned put out a pamphlet entitled "The International Jew." He later apologized for it, but the American Jew sold okay in the US, but guess where it sold really well? The German translation in the 1930s. Ford is the only American mentioned favorably in Hitler's memoir Mein Kampf. Adolf Hitler awarded Henry Ford an award he accepted, the Grand Cross of the German Eagle. The only other American who got that was Charles Lindbergh, a Nazi sympathizer. It's weird to review a person who has so little to do with our world. The only invention that Ford ever made that we still use in its same form is the charcoal briquette. In its own way, it is like 20th century recycling. Whether we like it or not, we salute Henry Ford on our American summer holidays, sometimes with good old Chicago slaughterhouse meat. And if you're my girlfriend this weekend, Henry Ford's favorite, the soybean burger. Also, I still prefer propane.